South Carolina and Texas A&M. On Saturday at Williams-Brice Stadium and will be broadcast on the SEC network. John Bianco, since the beginning of the season this matchup I tabbed as a big game, is the one I thought South Carolina had the best chance to win. By big game, I mean Georgia, Kentucky, given latest history, Texas A&M. This game is at home. For the past few days I've gone back and forth about whether this will be a low-scoring game or both teams will flirt with 30 points scored. I'm going to go with the latter. We'll see if the second half bodes better results, as that has begun to be the expectation. Aggies quarterback Kellen Mond has thrown 5 interceptions in his last 3 games, and the Aggies have the worst turnover margin in the SEC, -7. It comes down to Jake Bentley and that he is healthy enough to be himself, and can he go out and be the reason why the Gamecocks win a game? I think not being on the field last week killed him, because I know how competitive he is. I think his offensive line has had this game circled to redeem its poorest performance from last season, and the running game gets just enough production. These are two teams that know each other well, and it would be a big swing game victory in the middle of the season for either side. This is going to be a fourth-quarter game again. Aided by a positive turnover margin, USC gets its first victory against Texas A&M. Final, Carolina 31, Texas A&M. To say South Carolina has struggled to stop the run this season would be an understatement. And Williams is one of the best running backs the Gamecocks will face in league play. Fortunately, for Will Muschamp and Travaris Robinson, this could be it, when it comes to figuring out how to stop Williams. The junior running back will have a career in the NFL once he decides to bid farewell to College Station. Given the shelf life of running backs, it would be wise for him to make 2018 his swan song. Even though Williams hasn't rushed for more than 100 yards in either of the 2 games he's played against South Carolina, he's still been pretty productive, rushing 30 times for 154 yards and 2 touchdowns. And he's first in the SEC this season with 720 yards. And there's this stat, which is even more concerning for South Carolina: through 6 games, 3 of which were against AP top 15 teams, Texas A&M. The Aggies are set to face a run defense that allows 194 yards per game and 4.49 yards per carry. When the Gamecocks have the ball, they're going to have to make it count, but yards will be tough to come by on the ground. Texas A&M. However, they are vulnerable through the air. Opposing quarterback have passed for 1,469 yards, which is 97th in the country. The passer rating of 149.64 is 109th. Quarterback play won't be the reason South Carolina loses this game. Final, Texas A&M. This is a toss-up game that I can see going either way, to be honest. Here's what I do believe: for South Carolina to win the game, it's going to have to play the kind of turnover game it played during the entirety of the 2017 season. By that I mean that this defense needs to get back to forcing turnovers, and the offense needs to get back to protecting the football. And those disadvantages are in the run game on both sides of the football. The Gamecocks haven't done a good job in general of stopping the run in Texas A&M. Williams already has 4 100-yard games this season and is a threat in the receiving and return game as well. He won the battle last week against Benny Snell for best running back in the SEC, in my opinion. I feel like the chances are higher that the run game on both sides of the football is the difference, instead of the Gamecocks tipping the turnover battle drastically in its favor. Final, Texas A&M.